Hi, and welcome to Tuesday Tips. My name is Mila Grushin, and I am a speech language pathologist as well as one of the founders of Exceptional Explorers. And today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about wordless picture books. So why wordless picture books? Well, there are just so many important skills that they could teach our children. And I know that many of us make it a point to read a book to our kids a day. And we spend time looking at favorites and finding classics and reading our own books. But how many of us actually own some wordless picture books? And I think the misconception is that oftentimes people will assume that it is not as powerful as a book with words and a story. But wordless picture books do in fact always tell stories, but it encourages children to help write those stories along. And I think that is very, very precious. So next time you're in a bookstore or next time you're purchasing books, definitely take a look. And what I have here are just some of my own favorite titles to share with you. So I have some Mercer Mayer books that I really love, and I've used them with my own children as well as in therapy to encourage and elicit narratives and language from children. So here are some of Mercer Mayer's popular book title: Frog Goes to Dinner, A Boy, a Dog, and a Frog, and Frog, Where Are You? In addition, another one that I have right here is Once Upon a Banana. Okay, it's a book by Jennifer Armstrong. And the two are actually quite different, not just in their size, but in the content and the stories that are told. Mercer Mayer books are generally not colorful books, but it doesn't mean that the children are any less interested in these books. And I will go over one of them in just a bit. But Once a Banana is actually a very colorful book. What they both do have in common, in addition to not having any words on the page, is they have lots and lots of details. And that is why they're so important, so great. Children get to really study these pictures. And if they don't, we could encourage them to and study the pictures with them. They get to find lots of detail. Wordless picture books encourage observations. And in the process, kids get to make their own inferences as they study these pictures. So they get to combine details they learn from the stories with their own prior knowledge to determine what is really taking place in the illustrations. As they're doing so, they get to learn new vocabulary, and they may need some help from you to do so. But some examples would be when you're reading the story along with them, you may want to introduce a word like a jar for slightly open. Or another great thing is as you're discussing characters' feelings by making some inferences once again based on their facial expressions. One time you're reading the story, you may label this emotion as disappointed. But another time you're reading this book, you may use a synonym like upset. And this really also teaches a connection between vocabulary words, synonyms, and antonyms to the kids. So vocabulary teaching and making inferences based on illustrations is really, really crucial. In addition, as they start retelling stories, they begin to notice the consistent story elements. They get to see characters, setting, an initiating event that will later unfold into a problem and solutions. As they recognize these story elements and they begin to see that they are repetitive from story to story, they're seeing the same story elements. This develops confidence and better understanding of story elements. So as a result, their overall reading comprehension improves. They begin to understand that there's always an initiating event that precedes a problem, that characters will try to solve that problem, and that's generally the plot of many stories they are to read. As their understanding of story elements improves, so does their ability to retell those stories First, they will do so with the visual supports from the Wordless picture books, but then they could do so even without it. So you will get to see improvements in their narrative skills altogether. So these narratives are so important, not only in school, but also in informal situations, as they get to share a movie they watched with a friend, or they get to tell their grandparents about a trip to the zoo. Finally, the benefit of Wordless picture books is that each child, in a way, becomes his or her own author, and they get to use their imagination in combination with illustrations to come up with stories. It's fun, it's motivating to them, and they get to come up with new characters, new names, and new scenarios each time. So the same book could really become hundreds of different stories or variations of one story. So if you have some Wordless picture books that you love reading to your toddlers and your children at home, please share in the comments below. And if not, I do encourage you to come out and get a few. So like I said, Mercer Mayer is definitely one of my favorite authors for Wordless picture books, but there are so many others out there, and I would be excited to try some myself. So once you do find one you like, please share with us. Thank you for listening. Until next time.